What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan. It's the first Tuesday of the month, so you know what that means. Every month we come live talking about the latest in marketing, B2B marketing, B2C, and we're here to just share all of our knowledge, the secrets we do here at Milan Media, the #1 marketing agency out there.
And I brought with me the fire extinguisher.
Cold email marketing is actually increasing.
The big AI updates that HubSpot released.
Shifting some of your budget into that AI overview summary. If they don't trust you, it does not matter how good your process is. I've got a YouTube channel with over 2,000 videos on it. We post content every single day, and the purpose here is to bring you guys stuff that we do at a marketing agency level for a lot of clients at scale, and bring you guys that knowledge so that you can adapt it into your processes, learn from us. This is what we do here at Milan Media. We help companies increase their revenue with all sorts of marketing, whether it's web, SEO, automation, paid media, everything under the sun. We're here to deliver content for you that you can apply today. And we're live. What's up, guys? I'm Kyle. I'm here with Cristian.
Hey, how's it going?
And we are here because it's Tuesday. And it's the first Tuesday of the year, first Tuesday of the month of the year. And we're here to bring some good content for you talking about quoting. So for those of you that are new to the content, we are Milan Media, hosting this channel every single month. And we produce a ton of content helping you guys out with your digital marketing. Regardless of your industry, we bring actionable insights every single week with content that we post on LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. And we're here to just help everybody out based on things that we learn by doing this every single day. If you guys are new to the content, go over to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to the company channel, send us some connection requests on LinkedIn, or just follow us, and you can get all of this content into your feed on a daily basis. Isn't that right, Cristian?
That is right.
All right. So getting into it, we're going to talk today about quoting. Laura's like, Kyle, stop touching the microphone. We're going to talk today about quoting. And we've experienced this significantly in the past, like 90 days, right? So the past 90 days helping, like, I feel like end of the year, a lot of companies are like, hey, looking at software, looking at subscriptions for next year, what's going to be the best one for us? What things can we change? And a lot of our clients are like, you know what? Our quoting system just kind of sucks. Right,
Yeah.
Cristian?
Yeah, we noticed people using different systems, platforms, programs for quoting that are not meant to be used for quoting. And then we know that this in turn turns into lost sales, delayed delivery of the quotes, no follow-ups because things are in a folder somewhere, depending on what they use, right? So definitely a pain point for everyone, right? If they don't have the right quoting tool. Specifically in the industrial and B2B side of things, we've noticed that because naturally they're slow to adapt new technology, they're the biggest offenders.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, if you guys out there watching this, whether it's live or on the replay, think about how are you guys currently sending quotes and what's the pain point that you have? Is it speed? Is it the deliverability? We've seen every single problem possible when it comes to B2B companies that we've worked with in the last few months. And then even going back historically, everybody's kind of all over the place. We've had clients that do things with using Word documents still. We got people that just do spreadsheets. We've got people that have antiquated and outdated systems, or things that are very basic because they've always done it that way. They had a system that they bought 3-4 years ago or subscribed to it, and that's how they quoted it, and they don't want to move outside of it because it's too much work. But we're here to tell you that you don't have to suffer anymore with those outdated systems, because there is a solution that we've played a somewhat integral role of pushing out there pretty hard. And so it's all about speed, right? Somebody comes to you and wants pricing. You need to get them pricing back as fast as possible. You need to make sure that's accurate. You need to be able to hit the pain points, customize it, etc. But for a lot of people in the B2B space, it's like you want this, this, and that. It's a service, it's a product, a piece of equipment, etc. And the quotes and the proposals that you guys send are not super in depth where you're going into things like when we do proposals. So when I do proposals here, I'm going into strategy, and I'm spending 4, 5, 6 hours creating a proposal after going through competitor research, strategy. How is what we can do for this company going to solve their pain point of lack of leads, lack of revenue, lack of opportunities, lack of brand awareness. So a lot goes into it. Therefore, we have to customize it somewhat every single quote. It's not just cookie cutter anymore. You really got to put a lot of thought into it. And some of you guys may have the same issue, But the solution that we have for you is really hitting both of those two main pain points. So let's talk about it. HubSpot, as you guys know, we are a platinum partner on our way to diamond with HubSpot, and we're always trying to simplify processes and systems as much as we can. And therefore, when we were looking at our own quoting system, I'm like, you know what? I went to Cristian. I said, can we put this inside of HubSpot? And Cristian's like, you know what? We can. And in lies the solution of CPQ. Cristian, tell us about CPQ.
Yeah, CPQ. So CPQ, in the grand scheme of things, stands for configuration, price, and quoting, or configuration, price, and quote. So essentially, you configure a solution for a client, be it a product or service, and then you price it out using the tool, and then you quote or you send out that document that will get approved by the client. So it becomes an order or a closed deal. So in HubSpot, they've embraced the CPQ methodology this last year because they noticed that simple quotes with a line item and a price wasn't cutting it. And more companies, especially in the industrial and B2B side of things, use a CPQ system or need a CPQ system because they need to be able to configure, let's say, a machine, a bundle, a product that is just more than one line item and a price.
Yeah, and that's where it all comes down to. You guys may be thinking like, how is that different? HubSpot's had quoting. I mean, they completely overhauled it, released it in inbound in September this year. But it's a lot different than what it used to be. And what they're trying to do is solve a lot of different problems at once, where they're trying to build a system that can be adaptable and fit to lots of different types of businesses that want to go like more in depth with multiple pages. We're talking 8, 10, 12 page proposals or quotes versus those that want to have just a couple of pages and then a line item pricing sheet. So we here at M2, I've used every single type of quoting system out there for myself since I started this company 11 years ago. And even before that, when I was working in sales and marketing for 15 years. And I've used every single one. I personally like the ones that we had, but there's always little issues with it. And I said, you know what, we're going to go all in. In order for us to truly see if this is a good test and recommend it to our clients, we have to be using it ourselves. So that's what we did back in, I think it was October. We killed our old system of proposal writing and quoting, moved everything into CPQ, customized the system, built it out. Cristian and I have direct lines into the product development managers and the people that are in charge of the entire system at HubSpot that we regularly communicate, give feedback. I don't think it's like technically a beta test. It's more of like an alpha test because it's just them and us going through some actual use case scenarios of issues that we've dealt with. And because of that, have provided them feedback on like some things that we don't like and our clients don't like and that don't work that maybe the software engineers didn't think about. But that's where we went all in on it. And we've gotten some clients recently in the last 2 months. I think it was like 4 or 5 clients to move over out of their old system of quoting into CPQ. And we're in the process of building out those systems for them. And their initial feedback was like, as long as we can make it simple, as long as we can do it quick to where this salesperson or that salesperson can generate quotes quickly, speed is number one, right, for them. But for us, from our standpoint, and from sales leadership standpoint, they want traceability and be able to track everything. So what was that quote? How does it automated? Once I send a quote, how do I track it? How does it update deals, etc.? And that's really where the power is. When you have everything in a single system, you get a lot more exposure to that. Mm-hmm. So Cristian, from the projects that you've worked on, how does all of that integrate together and give you more visibility?
Yeah, so the CPQ in HubSpot is a great tool because you really have access to everything, under one platform, right? You have access to the customer data. You have access to the So you have access to the product data, customer data, all under one roof, and you have lots of way to customize that quote to meet the needs of a specific prospect or customer. And then back in the early 2000s, Kyle, people used to send a quote via PDF, and then people would print it, and then people will sign it, scan it, send it back. And that was a miracle, right? That was amazing to see. But now, in the days of CPQ doing everything inside of the platform, you can send the quote to a client and get the signature from the digital version of that quote, so they can sign in the screen. You get the signature back, and people can even pay on the quote.
Yeah.
So definitely it brings simplicity to the process, where you don't have to be back and forth waiting and sending emails and attachments. And now you can have everything under one platform that's seamless, and process easier for clients. Quotes, you can simply whip a quote in a couple of minutes if everything is configured, with pricing. So definitely a game changer for companies out there.
Yeah, and that's where, again, speed not being maybe in your business not the most important, but it should be a factor. And then ease of use, right? So if you're already in HubSpot, maybe you're like, hey, I want to do a starter bundle, or maybe you have enterprise level. You're like, I want to bring quoting into it. I mean, number one, reach out to us. Go to our website, milanmedia.com. Book time to talk with us about it, to be able to see, is it a good fit for you? Because it may not be. But for most people, it's like as easy as going into a contact record that's attached to a deal, clicking create quote, and we're going to be creating some content to show you guys screen sharing on how easy this is to walk through. But then you just pick which quote template you want. If you've got different products or equipment that you're selling, or different bundles, you can have different templates. You pick the template that's already set up. This is usually where we come in to set up the entire system for clients. And then from there, it's just what line items do you want? You shouldn't be changing much in the quote. Now, if you go on the custom side, like what we do, where I'm spending 4 or 5, 6 hours generating an actual proposal because of the strategy, I've got like the high level boilerplate of top and bottom, and then really the meat inside is what I'm having to create. So all of the strategy and all of the audits and all that stuff, I'm putting in every single proposal. So if you're in a similar situation, you do have that flexibility. I've already done probably 15, 20 quotes in the last 30, 40 days for people, whether it's a project or monthly recurring services, but everything's there to be customizable, and they're continuing to roll out new features. And I think are going to be super beneficial to, as we give them feedback, and other users that are pushing us out at scale, as they get better feedback, then they are going to go back to the dev team and say, hey, there's a lot of people that are saying that we need to be able to change this, or make this editable, or make this adjustable. And then the team's going in there at HubSpot and making those adjustments and rolling out new features. But it comes down to being able to say, I'm taking this person from a lead to a dealer opportunity into a quote. My quote's got to get approved by somebody if you're in sales. So it goes to the sales manager. They approve that quote. Then you send it, and then you're tracking, did they open it? When's the last time that they clicked on it, et cetera. And then from there, you can see like all of your follow-ups tied together. So you can then, I'm assuming, I haven't looked at this, but I'm assuming you could probably take action from workflows based on it.
Yeah, definitely. That was my next point.
All right.
The whole automation, right, engine inside of HubSpot with the workflows works beautifully with quotes. So you can go off based on quote status, quote created date, even the quote view count. So if someone viewed the quote 5, 10 times, but they haven't taken action yet, you could automate an email or a task to the salesperson to follow up with that prospect. So definitely it's great to have it all in one platform where you can leverage the powerful automations inside of HubSpot.
Yeah, and that's where you guys may be thinking like, no, dude, I could already do that. Yeah, there's quoting systems, we've used them, proposal systems that do integrate with HubSpot. We've had clients that say, hey, we were looking at these other systems. We've ran those tests. We've done setups and templates and built things out to then just give like proof of concept. Do a trial on this for 14 days and see how it actually works. And more times than not, you'll be drastically disappointed with the level of integration. It says, yep, we connect with HubSpot, but what can you actually do? And that's where, by just bringing it into HubSpot, and if price is the issue, there's tons of discounts that they're throwing out there because this is a new revamped tool and object inside of HubSpot. But there's lots of things that you could do with it being in HubSpot versus not with it. So like Cristian said, being able to view it and then take action. That's what it's all about. Is like something happens, there's some trigger. They viewed it, they didn't view it, or I need to do a quote, or I need to send it. And then you can automate the things in the back end to make the speed faster for you to get that quote to that person, because you can't close somebody if they don't have a proposal in front of them because there's nothing for them to sign. So let's get into a couple use cases. What have you worked on lately, Cristian, from a quoting implementation standpoint?
Yeah, so just today I'm working with a client that they sell laser cutting machines, laser tube cutting machines, and we're just implementing their existing quote templates into the HubSpot CPQ. So try to mirror what they had already so it looks similar to their clients, and putting it in HubSpot. It's interesting because they also want to put some rich content in there. That's one amazing feature that HubSpot CPQ has. You could actually embed a YouTube video in the quote, so you could provide even more information on the product or service that you're selling. So that's a very neat use case, because people, usually the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So how many words is a video, right?
Yeah,
A million words?
a lot of words.
Right?
I don't know.
So you can expand the information that you send to a client using a video, which is amazing, I think.
Yeah, and then being able to customize it, right? So going back to those templates, is you can create one template for that type of thing. Maybe you want a template where you don't have the videos in there for whatever reason. Like you're able to adjust everything. Now you don't want to go crazy with templates, and we've had people say like, "Hey man, I need 500 templates." Like, let's not go crazy. But you can create different groups of templates based on what do you want to show the client. What's something else that we've seen from a more complex standpoint with quoting?
Yeah, so price books, it's something that HubSpot is in the works, but they've asked us to help, alleviate that need for now and fill that need. So we're working with a company that they have a specific pricing rules based on the type of company. So they do sell to end users, but they also sell to resellers, distributors. So they have different pricing tiers. So, simply we created different properties on the product, different pricing properties for each of the type of customer. And then based on that, we have different pricing. And when you select the type of quote, if it's to a reseller, a vendor, an integrator, the pricing changes in the backend with the API. So again, that's a little bit more complex, but still doable within HubSpot. And if you have a need like that, where you have a price book, pricing tiers that is not volume based, which HubSpot handles by default, the volume-based pricing tiers. But if it's more complex than that, we can definitely help you out. Send us a message. We'll be more than happy to take a look at it.
Yeah, and that's where it really comes down to, you got to customize a system to work for you. Nobody can go into any sort of SaaS product and say, out of the box, it is what it is. I'm going to use it as is. We spend dozens of hours a month building out systems for clients, especially in HubSpot, because you have to make it work for their specific situation. So one client may say, hey, I'm fine with tiered pricing based on quantity. That's built within HubSpot. Some other clients have price books, like Cristian saying, different prices for different variables. That's got to be customized. Some people just want a couple lines of text, a video, and line items for it. Maybe you want to bundle things together. I know that if I get this product, then I have to bundle it with these other products, auxiliary equipment, etc., that goes with it. All those things come together. And what's cool about it is anybody that's doing things from a contract standpoint is that that's something that's coming in the very near future that we're working with the HubSpot team on, is that once it goes into a contract, then that's where you take it a next step. The whole goal is to not have as many systems as you have right now. So removing redundancies, removing different subscriptions, removing platforms you have to log into. It's no different than manufacturing companies wanted to reduce their vendor base or supply chain and consolidate. That's what I love doing, is like kill these three systems because we got this one. And that's where I think that the contracts could come into play. Like, do you feel like that's just something, because I haven't dug into it too much, is that just something that would help us for contracts, or do you think that could help other people as well?
Yeah, anybody that has a service component that renews will benefit from it. So instead of chasing down, PDFs again, or emails or dates on a spreadsheet, or when things are renewing and you want to get ahead of that to try to get the renewal on time, HubSpot will make it easier for you using the contracts kind of like objects inside of the quotes and the deals. So this object basically will be driven by dates, and you also will be able to use workflows and all of that to put them on a list, maybe make the salesperson aware that the renewal is coming up. So definitely for anyone that sells something that is on a renewal basis, be it a service, a warranty, they're going to benefit greatly of this new feature that HubSpot is launching.
Yeah. So again, it's like pulling all the systems together. And then if you wanted to tie it into a payment system, so you can have that trigger where this contract's going to come up for renewal. What do I need to do? The salesperson needs to talk to the client, create a new quote, create a new contract, update the contract, etc. Everything's somewhat automated to be able to trigger it. But without capturing that data, then it's manual entry, right? Then you're dealing with spreadsheets on the auxiliary side, and saying like, oh, I got to put that into a different system. Well, when is that going to expire? And all this type of stuff. And that's where you have to try and say, I want to simplify my system in 2026. I want to bring everything in-house in one complete package. Maybe there's two there, but even a different project that Cristian's working on, they're going from 6 different systems down to ideally one by moving outside of Zoho and all these other systems into one centralized one with HubSpot. And then how do we build it out and continue to add more and more layers of technology and software on top of it by just unlocking more features of HubSpot. So the sky's the limit when it comes to customization behind it. But you first have to be like, buy in on the fact that you want to increase the quality of the system that you're using and then reduce the amount of like pushback or systems in general that you're using.
Yeah. One other thing that I was thinking of is ourselves. We had a challenge with when maybe proposals had a change to them, right? The services that we provide, maybe the client wants something different or wants to add on to the service. It's really hard to track those changes and put them in a central place where, you know, anybody could make reference to. Using any proposal software out there, we've tried a few, and none of them really capture that change order, right? Or that change in the proposal. But with the HubSpot contracts, you'll be able to make adjustments to an existing contract, and you'll have a history of the changes, and all of that will be again tied back to the deal, to the company, to the contact, which makes it so easier when you're trying to, you know, provide a service to a client and you only have to go to one place to find the truth about what has happened with the client.
Yeah. And once that object is fully released out of beta testing and we're pushing hard with it, it's going to come down to, we've got a lot of clients that they sell something. Maybe it's a service-based business, maybe it's a piece of equipment, but there's usually some service aspect, right? Whether it's a service agreement, preventive maintenance agreement, something where ideally companies are trying to get those clients on a 1, 2, 3 year agreement. And that's what Cristian's saying. You can add things to the contract. You can renew the contract. There's lots of automation you could do as things come up to be able to create like addendums to it, right? And that's the most important aspect, is thinking like, as something comes up, looking at all your pain points, as something comes up, did you have an easy solution for it? Or was it like, go back to this, create a new proposal or a new quote or update X, Y, and Z, or send them an email? Contracts can solve a lot of that for you. All right. Anything else before we close out, Cristian, that you feel like is important to talk about CPQ?
Yeah. So again, CPQ has to be a part of that puzzle, right? It can't be a separate entity or system that you're working on and you have to maintain now 2 different databases, products, customers, right? If you make it simple and if you make it seamless, you'll see more throughput, more deals closed faster, because you're using, you know, one system, everything under one umbrella. And then if you need help figuring out, getting a demo maybe of how the HubSpot quoting system works, drop us a line. We'll be able to help you out.
Yeah, head over to our website, milanmedia.com, book some time to talk about it. We're here to solve the problems. It doesn't have to be, we've got lots of clients where we're doing monthly work for them, or other times it's just a project, and implementing this CPQ with full automation, creating the quote templates for you, building it out, importing product libraries, doing price books, whether it's inside of HubSpot in the future or external right now. That's what we do here at Milan Media. If you guys got value out of this content, share it with somebody that you know. Be sure to tune into the YouTube channel, both my own and the company, and then send me and Cristian a connection request on LinkedIn, or just follow us to get content like this chopped up into little pieces inside your feed every day. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
See ya.